Hello and welcome to the Solve Network. My name is Shane Borza and I'll be your host. Along with my co-founder Benjamin Goss, we'd like to welcome you. Our mission is to provide solutions and create a network of experts for you to learn from. Now this show is a little different than most podcasts as it is actually a live call held twice a month. If you can, please join us on the first and third Thursday of each month so you can get your questions answered live and direct from the experts themselves. If you're an expert, please contact me at shaneborza.com so you can be a part of the network. And now, here's our show. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Solve Network episode. As I mentioned in the last one with Mike O'Neill, the LinkedIn rockstar, we're having a bonus episode today with more discussion and Q&A with Mike, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Shane Borza, a climber, creator, and coach, and I want you to build the skill of health and fitness. My new course is a priceless gift to you, and it's available exclusively on PonoQuest.com. That's P-O-N-O Quest.com. Build the Skill is a minimalistic, functional, real-world fitness program which can help you to move better and get stronger faster. I can't wait for you to check it out, and when you do, please let me know how it helps you. That's Build the Skill at PonoQuest.com.
Before we open it up to questions to everybody, I was just wondering how you felt about maybe, I would call it virtual networking. Like one of the things that I mentioned to James a few calls ago was I told him about how, because his target market happens to be attorneys, that a natural place for him to look would be to filter for people that are alumni of the law school that he went to.
That's right.
And he could probably even bracket them for years of experience. So he could probably find people that are plus or minus 5 years of his graduating year, that sort of thing.
Not exactly.
What I encouraged him to
year. Not the graduating year, but most of what you said is indeed true, and it's a good strategy. You just can't get to graduating years.
Right. So my thought was, he should send out an invitation to a virtual coffee. So you can use on a B2C target market is your avatar, whatever you're calling it. My thought is that you could probably get kind of granular as far as the kind of people that you want to reach out to and try to network with. Maybe not necessarily to sell them something initially, but you could at least grow your network of people that are in the target audience. And if you're using the posting function and putting up items of value in the publishing part of LinkedIn, and that might, give you a better or a warmer introduction to somebody that, as opposed to just sending them something out of the blue. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So one of the things on that Navigating LinkedIn site is a guide on how to write articles on LinkedIn. So how to do not a post, but a real article, like a blog on LinkedIn. Okay. And it's a 20-page guide on where to get ideas for it. How to upload it, how to get a picture for it, how to put a link in it and stuff. It's on navigatinglinkedin.com. So you're going to want to go there and take a look. If you do an article, LinkedIn will give that article a lot of juice. LinkedIn wants articles on LinkedIn and they promote it and stuff happens. If you're promoting things outside of LinkedIn, not so much. So let's say I do a post. Okay, I'm going to do a post on the homepage of LinkedIn. And that post has a link to a YouTube video. Not going to get much traction. Let's say that post has a link to an article on LinkedIn. Lots of traction. So LinkedIn prioritizes in their algorithms links, messages, not posts that have links that are internal versus external. And it's like 100x in the amount of exposure you get. It's like huge. Okay. Facebook does it too. It's not just LinkedIn. They want to keep you on the platform.
Sure. But it post a note on Facebook, which is kind of like putting up an article, which is longer than your average Facebook post. But I don't know how well Facebook actually searches or delivers that content up versus LinkedIn. When you do a post, I mean, you can scroll through people's posts and, it creates, it's more blog oriented, I guess is what I'm saying. So you can get
posts on LinkedIn are a little bit like a timeline on Facebook. It is chronological and you can kind of scroll through and see. Articles are chronological as well, and you can put them together and see, intermixed in it. It's pretty neat. The place to find it is, I'm going to share my screen and show you where to get to that, all right? Let's jump for our audience here out of this, out. Okay. So we'll find a LinkedIn window somewhere here.
And Mike, while you're finding that, I'm just going to jump in and remind everyone that we have about 30 minutes left. So after we do this, let's have some people thinking about if they have any questions they want to bring up so we can get to those before the call ends. Okay. So the homepage, thank you, Shane, for that. The homepage of LinkedIn is where this action happens in general, but it's really a part of the menu at the top here. So Zoom and LinkedIn don't play well together. It takes a while to load these screens up. It's a known issue. You see right here, it says start a post. That's where you go to write it. And this is where you write an article. So this is your grand central station for posts and articles going forward, new stuff, all right? But your old stuff, the stuff you've already got, is right down here. Take a look at that. It's called the Me button. So from Me, we go all the way down here to posts and activity, and that's where we can see our own posts and our own activity, and it's nice and set up here. Isn't it beautiful here? You can separate it out or group it all together, and then you can share and comment and get back to people who commented on your stuff. So here's Thomas Heath. So thanks for the shout out. He says thanks again. Here's another one. So I'm in on that one. You can see all your activity really nice here in terms of communicating with people and stuff right from that spot. Remember, it was right here. It was right from that little drop down, right there to post an activity. Now, one thing I pointed out as well is that a company page is a really wonderful thing to have, and it's free and it's easy, but it's hard to find. Here's where you find it. You see the work button over here on the right here. There's a little drop down, and at the very bottom down here is where you create a company page. So the Me button and the Work button have cool stuff in them there, but really, really relevant stuff. But you got to scroll and kind of know what you're looking for. So to create a company page, you click here, and then it says what kind of company, and you put up the images and stuff. That's a particular good point to see there, because how you find it, it scrolls off the screen. You can't even see it. So anyway, I just wanted to show those two components there because I thought they were relevant. I like to show where on the screen to click when it's an important time to do that. Those will be hard to find. Shane, you got anything for us?
We've got a couple people on the East Coast. That may be dropping out here soon because it's getting pretty late there, but just wanted to see what questions anybody wanted to ask.
I don't see anything in the chat box, so if anyone would like to just jump in, feel free to unmute yourself and you can talk directly to Mike. And I have some stuff, but I'll go at the end because I'm West Coast.
So if I could, Laura Brandt is on my team, and I'd like Laura to just to say hi here if she could, and tell folks what she does. Laura, do you mind coming on and saying hi, and maybe you got a camera on or not? I don't know, but Laura's on my team here, and she writes the profiles for our clients and does much of the content work. I just want her to say hi. So Laura.
Hi, everybody. So yes, I work on the profiles with Mike. So I do a variety of different levels. It's either just kind of giving some recommendations, or else if you'd like me to interview you and then write the full profile, the about section, your current work experience, we can certainly do that as well.
Ben, it's back to you, bro. Back to you and Shane. I think we got a quorum here. We got a lot done in 67 minutes, don't you think?
Absolutely. Why don't we give everybody kind of a quick chance to introduce themselves and give us like a 30-second elevator pitch on who you are, what you do. And
Vaughn's got a question real quick. Can Vaughn go first? In my place, he's got a question. He's got his hand raised.
Nope.
We got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, I'm an educator, so I'm trying to figure out the benefits of the maximized benefits of using LinkedIn in the field of education.
It's not a prime market for you like others. It's more of a credentials market to have a good profile and a network of folks that are your peers to connect with. But as an educator, you're not out there to find leads and accounts and stuff. You want to generally connect with folks that are in your circle of world and folks a little bit beyond them. But it's more about prestige and credibility than it is about leads and all. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, Kevin is interested in getting into speaking and some other stuff. So maybe you could add a little bit to how it works for speakers.
Sure, it works really good for speakers. I am a speaker. So first of all, if you're a speaker, get a PowerPoint deck, okay? That's the first part. The process of creating a PowerPoint deck makes you a better speaker, okay? So you got to get your ideas down, not just to speak, but to get it down into a system out here. So there's certain people who want and need speakers. They tend to be conference hosts, or they run the best place to get started speaking are chambers of commerce and rotaries and things that are very local. They got a weekly meeting. They're just really starving for speakers, and they're easy to get into. Okay, you might wait 3 or 4 months to get in, but chambers of commerce and rotaries and things like that are great places. You connect with folks there. Executive director is sometimes a title at some of those organizations. So there's a job title, executive director, to find them, and you would connect with them and then tell them afterwards that, you'd like an opportunity to talk to them about speaking sometime at some event. That's a really good fit. Less so the education, it's more for credentials. But if you're a speaker, trainer, coach, that kind of stuff, it's outbound. What I described is really for you. It's not inbound. That was a good question.
Mike, will you tell us a little bit about campaigns and how you kind of structure a campaign and like what a campaign looks like?
Yeah, sure I can. So why don't I do it from the client, from the context of what a customer experience is like? Okay. So we do coaching, an hour session a week in the early days, 90 minutes the first time sometimes, kind of depends on work on your knowledge space. So in that process, we identify your customer persona. What do they look like? I'm trying to find a search. I'm asking you questions to draw out the company size and the parameters you saw there, but I try to do it in a conversation way instead of fill out the form. Okay. The next aspect of it is what are we going to say to them? And we have templates that we can work with already that we've used for other people. Things in our world work in Google Docs and Sheets and Drive and folders. Okay. So there's a series of files in a folder that we share with you. These are your messages. These are the searches. These are the LinkedIn industries. So I mentioned the 147 industries. We go down that list and you tell me which ones are your A, the ones I love the most, which ones are the B's, like I like them, but they're not top tier. And then that's it. We leave the others for later. So within the A's and the B's of industries, and for me, it's computer hardware, computer software, IT, and then the B's might be like business services or accounting or something, kind of lower level. They go in to create a search that essentially is a self-contained entity. The search and the words go in, like the zipper effect. So that goes in, and then we do it again, another one. And it might be that this search over here has, or this campaign has a bunch of searches that go into it. I'm targeting folks that are manufacturing executives. Well, I can start in California and then go to Texas and then go to New Mexico and stuff. It's one campaign, but with a whole bunch of searches that go into it. So it's a lot of work up front to get going, and then it's not quite cruise control, not quite. But your responsibility long term is to deal with responders. Okay. To take care of them. It's my job. It's our job to put stuff at the top of the funnel and to keep it afloat. As you run out of targets, I got to find more ones. Grab the next campaign up and next campaign up. So I teach it done with you on how you can do that yourself, how you can do that with an assistant perhaps, or you can sub, all of that out to us if you like to do that. We'll even scrub the lists for you to make sure that the folks on the lists are more inclined to be your folks. No one without a picture, no assistants, no retired people, no folks with dogs, if you don't like people with dogs, whatever.
And
We've even done it, by the way, where we eliminate men or women because we only need a male or a female audience. And there's really special ways. So Lori and Tasha, listen to this one, okay? Think of the top 50 names for women. Lori is on the list. Tasha, maybe not. Okay, you might make top 50, Tasha, maybe not. Okay, but you know the words, right? Lori and Debbie and all that sort of stuff. Well, in the search, you go into first name and you put in right there. Now, you're not going to get Jacquelina Wakadoo in your list, but you get all the common names, and that's how you can target women. Same thing goes for men if you want to target men. And it's through the first name field with an or in between them, like it was job titles. It's really cool. And we had a client who wears a turban. Okay, he's a financial planner. He's a Sikh. Okay, and he has trouble finding clients because people don't want to turn over their 401ks to a guy in a turban. But some people really do. If you wore a turban yourself, right? The most common name for Sikhs is Singh, S-I-N-G-H. Half the Sikhs have that name, like Muhammad, right? So we just did a campaign for folks whose last name was Singh and other names as well. So there's ways, you know, if I get to know inside of your mind and we talk and we strategize, we sometimes come up with things that are a little off the beaten path that we can come up with unique ideas. There's within LinkedIn, you can pick a part of a city and say, I want to go only so far from that part, or only so far from this part down here, over here. And that works really well for some people because folks will only travel so far for their product or service. And in San Francisco, that so far is measured in blocks and miles, not in double-digit miles. They won't drive 2 hours to see you, even though it's only technically 37 miles. So those are great questions. But that's how working with us works. I send you an onboarding doc as well as these Google Docs and stuff. You want to know what stuff costs? I mean, there's standard pricing here.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. And also just if you have a case study or kind of client example that you would share.
Yeah, I'll share one, sure. So the cost to get started is $1,500 to $2,500. It's in that range of kind of where you are. Not more, not less, somewhere in there. Do you have a company page or not? Do you have 5 connections or 500 already? That kind of stuff. Kind of depends where you are. That's a 6-week coaching program. So in 6 weeks, we set up the systems and get it all running and let it run as long as we can. It's 6 weeks is when you got to decide what our ongoing relationship is going to be. And it could be a little relationship. That's $250 a month. We talk once a month. You can text me with questions. I'll bail you out when you got an issue. But it's not for the deep strategy stuff. That's either $250 on up and or $500 on up. And at the top of it, we'd scrub lists for people and do that stuff. That's $1,000 a month. So you can decide at 6 weeks or 5 weeks which you want to do because you'll know, yeah, this is for me and that's not. This is and that not. I'd like this service. And you might over time say, you know what, I'm ready to take on more of my own. So you kind of take on more, the cost goes down, and we kind of coach you in a different way because it's done with you instead of done for you. You take on some of the searches, the scrubbing, and the message handling and stuff. So that's how that goes. If you need a profile written, Laura Brandt does profiles. It's $750 to write a profile. She does a wonderful job. That's early on. Before you get campaigning, your profile's got to be spiffed up. The other thing we have to offer is a message package. So it's 5 messages and 2 LinkedIn articles, like a blog post, and those plug right into the system. So you don't have to be the writer, the person who writes the connection request and the message after and the article and the link back to the article, pick out the picture and make sure it's okay and all that stuff. It's $750 for that package as well. So a lot of our clients pay $1,500 for that, and they pay their $1,500 to $2,500 to me to get started. And when we set up the campaign system, it automatically goes and scrapes all of this data for your existing network already. So before you send your first message out or do anything, you got this great bunch of data to put into your pipe drive or to some other system. You don't need to run a campaign against your base of connections unless you want to. You may say, I only want presidents, or I only want this. But that whole database is coming down into a spreadsheet that you've already got it. You can scrub it there and decide, I want these folks, I don't like those folks, whatever. Okay. So it's that data feed part where I really come in. That's kind of close to me. There aren't many people I can rely on to help. I do have upstream help from me and all, but I'm the downstream help for a lot of people on that. So
for coming from or having heard some of the like Facebook ad stuff and SEO stuff, I imagine it's kind of difficult to put like a cost per click on this kind of product, but what kind of numbers can you associate?
Sure. Got it. Yeah. So generally you're gonna add, once you get up and running, you're gonna be sending 1,500 connections a month, connection requests, invites. Could be 1,200, could be 2,000, but it's somewhere in that range. 1,500 is a good number. Okay. 20% to 25% of those folks are going to connect, depending on how picky you are. We have some that are 30, 40%. Okay. So of those folks that connect, 10 to 15% of them are going to respond. So I connect to you, you look out, 1 out of 7 people responds. And they respond after the first message or the second or third or the fourth or the fifth or however it goes. Eventually they raise their hand and say, thanks for sharing, or I don't know, or I love you, or get out of my life. All of those are responses. You'll learn over time that generally, more than half of them are good. Okay. So of the 60 or so responses, 30 or more per month are generally good, and a matter of just how good. So it's not a cost per, because you got to divide by some things, but you're going to get 20 to 30 to 40 leads a month if you're doing it right, and you've got the right profile and the right message and the right targeting. That's what our clients are getting in general.
Okay, so that's kind of like your click-through rate, perhaps if you're looking at it from an email marketing kind of perspective. Yeah,
it would be a click-through rate because these folks have responded. They've clicked send on a respond message, so it's exactly like a click-through rate. Yep. Really great questions there, James.
So I'm just going to jump in again. This is our kind of standard procedure. We usually let people know, okay, it's been about an hour. And then also when we have about 10 minutes left. So we're at 10 minutes left now. So does anyone else have any other questions? I don't see anything in the chat. If you have a question, please unmute yourself and just ask Mike. I want to make sure we get a chance to have everybody get their questions answered before we finish up.
I've got a little bit more to discuss, last couple minutes, if you like, and it has to do with this. I didn't address mobile in our conversation here because it's a 15-minute part, just for a little bit. There's a LinkedIn mobile app and there's a Sales Navigator mobile app. You won't use the Sales Navigator mobile app even if you have it. You're just going to use the LinkedIn mobile app. It's a great place for you to look at your existing the invites that come in, and I look at them here and I research a little bit. I go yes or no. I do more from my phone. Phone, really cool stuff that you can't do from the desktop. I can send Ben a video message right here. And just talk to Ben like this on it, and then go boom, and this video just goes in Ben's inbox with my picture on it and everything too. I can do an audio message if I want. I can send a screenshot if I want. The amount of media that you can send to somebody is just amazing. So I'll find Ben, and I'll mention, and I'm about to send him a message, and the things that I can include with that message. An attachment, a photo. I can take a picture. I can take a video. I can do one of these animated GIFs if I want to go. One of those GIFs that does that, I can send them a map to where my location is. And I can give them the availability on my calendar that I choose to share. They're all little buttons right down here that all go with the message to Ben. That's really cool, powerful stuff. And there's no equivalent to that on a laptop, right? So it adds to it. It doesn't replace the value there. So I just wanted to point that out a little bit. And
What's the value of a video message versus text? I mean, is there any data on that? Like people respond?
People who get a video message from you feel absolutely responsible to respond back. You took the time to do it. It is just so cool. I'm going to do it right now, Ben. I've got you right here. Okay. So I'm going to do a video. There's a little red button right here that I'm going to do. Well, Ben, here we are. In fact, you can see yourself there, and then I'm going to reverse the camera to me. So now I'm on here. Okay. So this is what a video looks like when you're on a phone. I'm going to show you a really cool thing to do. This will blow you away when you get it. Okay. So here we go. All right, Ben. So you're going to get this in just a minute or so. Why don't you share your screen and show me what it looks like on LinkedIn if you can, and you can see what that looks like. There we go. Now, I was pointing to the back camera when I started it instead of the front. Go ahead and click it. Yeah. Well,
it's still loading. It's mobile, so.
Okay. Well, Ben, here we are. In fact, you can see yourself there, and then I'm going to reverse to me. So now I'm on here. Okay. So this is what a video looks like when you're on a phone. I'm going to show you a really cool thing to do. This will blow you away when you get it. Okay. So here we go.
You can also play it. Like I blew that up, but you can also play it in the feed because he's sent me videos before.
Super powerful. I've had great luck with that.
So
I don't use it enough.
One of the things I wanted to mention is like I call myself a modified lion at this point because I'm at 21,000 contacts and first level. And I find that I get connection requests from people that like it looks like it's a programmer from India because it'll have a picture of some smiling model.
Ignore it.
Yeah, I know I do. So
anyone can ignore it. You don't have to have 21,000 connections. You can have 37 connections or someone from India.
My point is the things that I'm looking, like personally, the things that I'm looking for is, do I have any mutual connections? Are they in an industry I'm interested in? I mean, I don't know if there's any data out there on what people look at on LinkedIn when they go to click connect, but I know I look at things like, do they have any recommendations, like those little notes you can get at the bottom of LinkedIn, that sort of thing?
You're giving it a lot of thought, Ben. In general, this is all people do. They look at that and they click the X or the check. They don't do a lot of poking around. Most folks do very little deciding. They just go, here's a student at Charleston Southern University, X. Nope. Here's an entrepreneur at Tiny Guard mobile app. Yep. Here's the guy who wrote a custom message, blah, blah, blah. He wrote me a nice custom message. Yep. That's all that goes into the deciding for most people. Does your head look good? Does that text have that digital footprint stuff? Very few people actually go scouring and looking and stuff like that. Now, I commend the people that do. I really do. You look and see who we have in common connections. Did I ever go to a school you went to? Did you work at a company I can mention in a comment? Did you say something that if you mention music or Apple products to me, I might make a little note. Are you going to get the iPhone 11? If you say you like Apple products, I might use that to get an inroad. But you can certainly just ignore stuff that comes programmed in from out of there that will never add any value. And as you get higher in your network, bigger networks, I'm at 30,000. It takes me an hour to delete 100 people. So I have to decide whether you're worth that much. Are you worth 45 seconds of my time on a Saturday watching football or not? Because I got to take that time, precious time, to make room for you. The rest of you don't really need to. If you think, why not connect? There's plenty of reasons why not. You're an affiliate marketer in India. You're going to take advantage of me. But otherwise, why not? Why not? What's the downside of it? So I would say yes in general, but once you hit the 20,000, you start, you're past your life, past half life. You start slowing down a little bit when you get that high. No one else is going to worry about that. I hit the limit in 2009. I've deleted over 15,000 people in my network. I got a really great network, folks. I do. I mentioned some of the really big folks in it and stuff, but Barack Obama is my most famous connection, and I'm really proud of that one. And by the way, I invited Hillary. She did not accept. John McCain did. It was really cool in 2008 politics. LinkedIn was just coming on really strong. The politicians were on LinkedIn and connecting with people. They won't do that anymore. You have to follow them now. They won't connect with you. But it's kind of cool to have that. Let me share with my biggest regret in connecting. This is my final story. Okay, the final story. Here we go. It's 2007 in Denver, and the Rockies Venture Club is a little organization I was part of. Really cool, fun. We brought in the founder of LinkedIn through my channels. I knew someone who knew someone, and we got him in. Reid Hoffman. He's one of the most successful venture capitalists in the history of San Francisco. Started PayPal as well. Started a bunch of other companies. I'm sitting at the table with them, and I send him a LinkedIn invite, and he's on his computer, and he sees it. And he goes, Mike, I can't accept your invitation. Most important guy in the world. And he says, I can't accept. And I go, why? And he goes, well, your last name has your email address in it, and that's against the rules. And I can't connect to people that violate the rules. And I had to decide, what am I going to do? Am I going to take the email address out and connect to the most important venture capital person in the world to me, the CEO and founder of LinkedIn? Or am I going to keep my in school and kept my email address in, and I lost out on the chance to be super duper plugged in and connected in the world there? That's the biggest mistake I ever made. And it was a LinkedIn mistake. And, the fit in out principle that I teach, I violated that, the fitting in. It was trendy at the time, but that's my biggest mistake there. And I have pictures of me and Reid Hoffman sitting there together. I got a goatee and glasses. I look a little different. You wouldn't hardly recognize me, but it's in my book. It's in my book. That's it. We're right at 9:29. We're hitting right the top of the minute here, aren't we?
This is a great thing that Ben and I are trying to put together more often. We like to have speakers here. We like to grow the mastermind group and offer mentoring and coaching as well. So does anyone have anything else that they would like to say or ask before we end the call tonight?
Just a big thanks to Mike.
Thank you, Jay. You really pay attention there. I can see it in your mind there. You're a systems guy. A little bit left, a little bit. Thanks to everyone else as well. I notice you're all paying attention here and stuff. I very often, I see heads that, are doing this instead. And it's because I get in front of an audience that's not as hand cherry picked as this is. There's a really good audience here. Thanks, everyone.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
Hi, I'm Shane Borza, your content creator coach. I have 2 books on filmmaking, Film Notes, where you learn to write, direct, and produce, and the Film Notes Workbook, where you can learn checklists and paperwork to streamline creating your content. Available at shaneborza.com. I also have filmmaker resources like the Paperwork Bundle with over 300 documents, the Sound Effects Bundle with almost 3,000 files, and the Music Bundle featuring 900 tracks of all genres. Want to build your professional credits? Become an associate producer and get listed on IMDb. Let me help you get your art out into the world.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Solve Network. As a reminder, these calls are held live on the first and third Thursday of each month. If you'd like to join us as either a listener or guest expert, please contact me at shaneborza.com. On behalf of my co-founder, Benjamin Goss, we're glad you are a part of the network and hope you are finding solutions. If you need solutions, please reach out.